What's up, guys? Welcome back to the People. And today is our 36th episode. And today we got Roshan. He's a DJ, man. And how are you, bro? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys as well. I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you
It's
guys for having me on your
pleasure, bro.
show.
It's a pleasure having you here. Okay.
yeah.
Thanks. It's fun. I miss Penang.
Think things are different during the pandemic, bro. You know.
Even over there, right? I
Yeah.
can imagine.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
How's things are over there, bro?
Things are slowly reopening up, so that's great. Now we're in phase three. Played a couple of gigs over the last weekends, just like super chill, like nothing too like upbeat or whatever. But it's great to see that it's slowly coming back, and especially with phase three, like us going into phase three, and now that Chandana is handling all our music
Ah,
applications and stuff like that. So
nice.
like if you want to have events again or DJs, if DJs want to play or live musicians want to play and organize events, we can already. We just need to start applying through Chandana. So honestly, like it's the light is finally here, like the light at the end of the tunnel, the opportunity to for everything to come back and restart. So just excited for what's to come over the next couple of months.
Nice.
I think Chintana is helping a lot of people these days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they do. They are amazing. Like I think I joined the seminar 2 weeks ago with like a few of us who were in the chat, like Victor G, Nazarut from Beat Malaysia, Victor G who runs W, even Zaf from Under the Radar KL. We were all in the chat just kind of pushing like, hey, what about DJs? Like we wanna know where we stand, and especially events relating or including DJs. We just wanted to kind of know what's happening with us, and thankfully Chandana acknowledged it during that call, and we kind of know all the SOPs and stuff like that. So just prepping and gearing up. Hopefully, a couple of shows towards the end of the year from all of us, lah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
I
bro, I
mean,
want I
it's
want to ask you, how did you? When was the age you started off, like, the interest in DJing and stuff?
Well, it's a funny story because I think it was my first year in uni. I was 21 years old, and then we had like the student night
uh,
that first day in college, and they asked the entire batch like, does anyone know how to DJ? And I jokingly like just pulled a fast one and said, oh yeah, I know how to DJ, when I didn't even know how to DJ at all. And that first night I kind of like got into it. I think I used virtual DJ, and was just playing around on it for the night. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. But I never really picked it up. And that happened in my first year. And I never really picked it up until my third year in university and my final semester on top of that. Like, that's when the idea about Saturday Selects came around with a friend of mine. And I think we kind of needed someone to represent the brand at the time, so I started learning how to DJ from there. Yeah, and then the interest just grew and grew over the years, lah, which was about 5 years ago now. It's been 5 years.
Five
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
It's an amazing,
yeah.
amazing 5 years journey. Yeah.
yeah, bro. No, it has been an amazing 5 years journey, especially from like playing commercial music and hip hop music, and then now primarily I'm playing electronic house, disco, techno. Yeah.
Oh,
So it's nice to have that entire timeline and seeing the growth, and not just myself, of everybody that has been involved with like Saturday Selects over the years, and all the DJs we've booked internationally, all the regional and local DJs that have played with us. Like everyone has had amazing growth over the last 5 years.
Nice.
cool, man. That's cool. Um, I got this curious question. Like
Yeah.
this DJ stuff, right? How do you like? Is it like a course you take, or something you learn by yourself, or?
So I guess a few of us are like self-taught DJs. I personally watched a lot of YouTube videos, like boiler room videos. I think boiler room
Ah,
videos really help. But I didn't really start learning how to DJ until started teaching me how to DJ. Yeah, I think it was the first few gigs into Saturday Selects events. And Afaro was like, hey, let me show you, teach you how to DJ, like, properly how to beat match, because I wasn't beat matching and stuff like that. I was just like, timba, timba, like the first 6 months. And Afaro just taught me how to DJ, like especially mixing, how to beat match. And then from there, I used to go, Arteba and track.
Yeah, Atiba.
yeah, yeah,
So
Atiba.
Random Kid, DJ Random Kid Jeevan, who used to play there on Ladies Nights on Wednesdays. I think it was 2017. January, February, he used to make me come and watch him play every Wednesday. Yeah, from like 10 p.m. until 4 a.m. he would be playing. I would sit there the whole night next to him, just asking him questions. What does this button do? How do you do this? And then he would teach me the ins and outs of the entire DJ setup. And then he started giving me my first exposure into like playing to a crowd. I think that was a very important, like, and pivotal moment, learning how to read the crowd, which I got almost immediately. Thankfully, I didn't have to go to a DJ course. I'm a very hands-on visual person in terms of learning, so I need someone to show me. So the boiler room videos didn't really help in that aspect. The boiler room videos came in into like selection of tracks,
Gotcha.
how to have cooler transitions, stuff like that. But the basics still I needed like a one-on-one thing, and thankfully like random kid was more than open for me to come and watch him play and ask him questions, and he taught me, over that time. Yeah, and that's how I got into it, like actually DJing. And I have friends who also went for courses and learned courses. It really is dependent on what you want to do. Like, with Saturday Slacks, we were having a course for a very brief moment with DJ Vin as well. You can play any kind of music, and I think that is applicable to most of these academies that are teaching. You have great academies like DJ's Playground, you have Gold Sounds, you have Bionic Academy where you can learn, so that's great that these opportunities are still available. Although I still feel academies were like a 2000s thing. Like everyone in the 2000s, all the DJs somehow came out from
Yeah.
academies like late 90s. And because now it's a lot more accessible, you can
True.
learn by yourself. You can sign up for like a
Oh.
50 USD cost,
Yeah.
Oh.
online, and it's like 10, like 10 hours worth of like work that you can, and then they give you homework and stuff like that, which is really interesting. So they've made learning how to DJ so much more accessible to people. Yeah.
Oh.
Like bro, I wanna ask you. Okay, imagine like you're going for a gig right now, right? So like,
Yeah.
how do you come up with selection of songs? Because I always
Yeah.
wonder like how does the DJ come up with selections of songs?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, pre-pandemic it was different. Now we were playing at like Six and Kyo and Pisco and stuff like that. So obviously going into it, you need to have the tracks that you know are going to work. You have to have your Bruno Mars, your Drake, your Kanye West. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but those are like, the tracks that are going to work, especially in like commercial clubs. So having those and just really having a great selection of new tracks and fresh tracks that probably like, because for example, Q and Six and the Get Down and stuff like that would be open Fridays and Saturdays. New music drops on Thursday and Fridays. Pick up the new Kendrick Lamar song, or any of those new hip hop tracks that are gonna work. But that's for like the hip hop stuff. I feel like hip hop and R&B, you just got to keep up with the trend. Where else with house and disco and techno, that's completely different. Like, what people want to hear is songs they've never heard before. They want to be able to find those tracks, whether it's new, like just came out, or whether it came out in the 70s and 80s. When you hear a house track that was made in the 80s, sometimes it sounds like it was just made a few years ago. That's how fresh and timeless some of these house tracks stay over the years. But approaching that, obviously it depends on the venue. Like for example, yesterday I played at a restaurant for a brunch session. So I know, okay, it's brunch, it's at a restaurant. I can't play too like upbeat, for example. So it was just
Oh.
primarily like deep house, down tempo disco. I would not go above a certain BPM. I was playing with a saxophonist yesterday, but halfway through, it just got extremely. It became like a party. Everyone was like, "Want upbeat music?" You know. So I guess now post pandemic, it's going to take a while to understand what people want,
Yeah.
because uh, I wasn't expecting going into, for example, the gig yesterday to play upbeat music, because to me it was like brunch in a restaurant. Everyone's just going to be sitting down and eating. They want
Yeah.
easy listening like house music. Little did I know it was completely the opposite lah. And thankfully I was my laptop, so I had like backup tracks and stuff like that to fit in.
Yeah.
So it really depends. I mean, I guess now going into post pandemic is what I said. It's going to take a while to kind of figure out what people are looking for, what people want. And right now it's like very like independent events like restaurants, bars, event spaces as well, maybe. I have no idea how clubs are going to be, what people are listening to. Like, if I have to play TikTok songs in Kyo, oh my God. Like,
Imagine
that's
doing
not
that,
going to
bro.
be.
Yeah. Talks
That's not
all.
going to be the most fun. People doing TikTok dances and stuff
Uh,
inside these commercial clubs. But yeah, it just depends on the venue and the vibe and stuff like that.
yes, yes. That's quite interesting though, because you need to see, you need to uh like you need to see like certain places, then you need to know like certain kind of vibe that you can play, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. Like Pisco, I would play like primarily disco and vocal house. And then if it's like at a different venue where I can, like upstairs at Pisco, if I can play, or I play like more darker house, techno, like harder hitting house and stuff like that. But downstairs, I would keep it like super upbeat and friendly and nice. Lah. Yeah,
Ah,
so it depends also where you're playing, who are you expecting to come that night, the type of music that those people are expecting. You don't want to be playing house and techno to a crowd that's coming who's expecting dancehall and hip hop.
yeah.
That is going
Correct,
to make
correct, correct.
sense. Yeah.
They'll be
Bro,
confused.
you're telling all this, right? I bet most of the people who seen you perform, right, they might be thinking, oh, this guy is just coming there, just just spinning up, and he's done. After you're explaining, like, there's so many, like, for different venues, different types of
Yeah,
vibes and stuff, right? It's like,
correct.
like,
Yeah, and
it's a big thing,
it's
bro.
also like it definitely no. I mean, a lot of people don't see that build up towards that. They just see
Yeah,
like the DJ walking in, plug in his thumb drive, put
That's
on his
it.
headphones, play
Yeah,
for 4 hours, you know. But like
correct.
we buy tracks, we dig for music, you know, on SoundCloud. We wanna like so many DJs in KL, like DJ Luke, Nashtik, Dahlia, Ready Rocket, all of us like we all dig on SoundCloud as well. You know, so it's about spending their time and finding like new and cool remixes of like popular hip hop tracks. Not to say we don't like these popular hip hop tracks. It'd be nice to get a different remix or a different version from another producer who would, give it an entirely different take, like drop it like it's hot. Until today, I still play the same edit from Don Mayer, an Amsterdam-based producer, because it is like a dance hall Afro, like Afro-based type of edit, which like,
Ah,
I
yes.
love the original, but this one is just makes everybody go somewhere else, lah. The club
the
picture
vibe,
skip.
the vibe of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice, man. That's cool, lah. It's very cool. And like like during this pandemic, how you like keeping up like with this DJ stuff? Like how is it for
Um,
you?
Okay, I guess it was when it first happened. Obviously, all of us thought it was going to be like a month, 2 months
Yes.
max. So the beginning of last year, like April, May, was just kind of like let's see how long this lasts. And then when we kind of realized, okay, this is going to be on for a while. Like we don't know when this is going to end. We started doing live streams for a bit. Um, but what happened with this live stream is, we were organizing live streams with Malaysian DJs, hopefully for the Malaysian crowd. But still, 80% of those viewers were coming from overseas, from like the US and Europe and stuff like that. And it's a nighttime for us, but daytime for them. So we're playing hard shit and they're starting the day. It wasn't really making sense. But we did it for like 3 months. We had a variety of DJs, everybody from the scene, house, techno, disco, hip hop, drum and bass, reggae. We had like everybody come and play. I think the main goal from the get go for me and for us at Saturday Sucks was we wanted to remain active. We have our weekly radio show. We in April last year we launched our first house more electronic music radio show as well, called Spectrum, which is fortnightly. So that's been keeping us busy. And then we also started our monthly radio show on Box Out FM, a radio station in India, and
Wow.
also Source Radio, which is a radio station in Paris. So we have a monthly radio show there as well. Yeah, on both those platforms. So we have 4 radio shows right now that we
Nice.
do. Yeah. So I guess it's about like I created I wanted to create all those opportunities in hopes of us remaining active and constantly putting it out because we were very heavily reliant on remaining active through events. Well, digitally, it was just like one radio show. We were doing it on a weekly basis to feature producers and DJs. But until the pandemic happened, that's when I realized, okay, it's necessary to have a strategy behind that, about getting the right people on the radio show, about featuring not just international producers and DJs, but regional and local producers and DJs as well. You know, so that was basically the approach, wanting to like remain active and keeping myself busy and keep digging for music. And through that, I've done like guest mixes for other platforms like free radio and the Sessions Ohio in the US. I also got to do a mix for Shikumiz, which is a festival in Hong Kong. Amazing house and disco festival. I've always wanted to visit, and I connected with the guy a few months ago, and he invited me on for a guest mix there. So just been doing that, basically a whole bunch of mixtapes. Anybody that needs mixes and stuff like that. Anybody who reaches out for radio shows. That's what I've been doing personally. Just to remain active, not to like let go of myself, um, and not dig for music anymore. I understand that there were some DJs who feel like they should only play in a club, like a DJ should play in a club. So some of them didn't live stream. A lot of people didn't really remain active, I would say. But just putting out mixes once a month would be enough just to remain active and just to show, it also allows DJs to like dig for completely new music that you don't usually get to play. If you're a hip hop DJ but always been interested in like funk and soul and house, that's your opportunity. More DJs in KL, more collectives in KL need to start their own regular mix series. I think a really good example, I don't know if you know this guy, he's like an OG. His name is Terence T. He's now based in Hong Kong. He started a weekly techno radio show last year during the pandemic. I think it's called quarantine sessions or lockdown sessions, but every week he finds new music for that radio show. That's his challenge on the radio show, which is so interesting. Like
Nice.
every week, it's a new set of tracks that is not repeated. None of the songs are repeated each week. Yeah. So introducing this kind of interesting stuff will only challenge you as a DJ, and creatively you have to find music that fits into a 1 hour mix or a 2 hour mix, and just introducing that kind of challenge. So that's what I did even with Saturday Selects. Like the weekly radio show is primarily hip hop, R&B, dancehall, Afro beats, a bit of house. Spectrum is more towards house music, house electronic music. Um, the radio show on Box.fm is very deep house, so it's perfect for like studying, cooking, cleaning the house, chilling. That's the point of that show. And then for Source Radio in Paris, it's for us to feature regional DJs that we feel should be highlighted more. Like we've featured Steven from Singapore. We have featured Gusting from KL as well. And our upcoming radio show, which is out I think second week of October, we'll feature a friend of mine from Jakarta, Nandi, who runs an amazing collective called House Cartel. So we're using the Source Radio show to just basically feature more Southeast Asian like DJs and producers and artists. Yeah.
I me like telling all these, bro. I think people like us, you wouldn't know the backstory of it. Like when you're
Yeah,
saying it, it's like so nice to hear, bro.
yeah, it's interesting.
Thanks so
It's very
much.
interesting. Yeah, it's very
Yeah, thank
interesting.
you. Like
Because like what I
just
said, like people, the perception of people is just like they were thinking this guy is just just collects few songs and just comes there
Yeah,
and just plays
correct.
it
collect
around.
song, collect
That's what people
vinyl.
Yeah,
think. You
yes.
Yeah,
I heard some people also will tell these DJs. I mean, this someone I know lah. They will say,
yeah,
oh, they just go to Dylan Dow or my MP3 files. Those kind of they
yeah,
get
and
download songs,
repeat.
and then you go and put your pen drive and then download. I mean, it's not as easy as you think. You have
No,
to
it's
search
not.
for the songs, search for the
Yeah.
vibe, whether people can vibe or not.
And
That's
then you
another
either
challenge.
need the radio version, which is clean, or you want the
Yeah,
explicit
yeah,
version for
exactly.
like
Yeah,
the
lah.
promotion.
Exactly, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
bro, I want to ask you, bro. How do you
Yeah.
guys come up with Saturday Select?
Okay, Saturday Select started up when I was in my final semester in uni. A friend of mine, Johan, and I, we both started it together. And basically, it just stemmed from the fact that do you know Create and Explore? Have you heard of Create and Explore
Yeah.
by Taku?
Yep.
So Saturday Selects was like basically inspired by that and Selection, which is a record label based in LA. And what we wanted to do was we had friends who were producing music, and I was shooting a lot that time. And I wanted to shoot Sona One's album cover, for example, or single cover or something for Sona One. So we're like, okay, hey, if we get these musicians to give us beats and we get a photographer or a graphic designer to shoot an album cover for it, if we do 20 of these, maybe we can start approaching bigger artists like Sonawan or Joe Flizzo or like, anybody in our industry. We did six of those. After six, a couple of our friends were like, okay, are you guys just going to do that? Like, why not do an event? And we're like, we've never done an event before. Like, how do you even do it? You throw a party or an event. So July 2016, a friend of ours, like, Kieran Thomas helped us out and got us a gig over at Arte Bar in Trek. And the rest is history. Lah. That's how it just started. Like, that event became a monthly event until January 2017. And then we started doing more community-based projects in Subang. Like we were doing it with this cafe called Fix. We had like a barbecue, we had small little booths, we collaborated with like Huff, and then we started our residency at Six in August 2017. Yeah, and then just the ball started rolling lah from there. Yeah.
Nice. Will do you think like in maybe few years, few months time, think we'll be back to normal, or is it gonna
I
be
mean,
still through online for now?
I have spoken to some people. With DJs are allowed to play now. So, for example, if you book a independent space, like the Row in KL, I don't know if you know that a Heritage Row. It's a massive event space, can fit about 600 people. You can rent it out and follow SOPs, and DJs can play. There's no problem with that. But whether clubs can reopen now, that's a different story. Probably like early next year, like
Yeah.
February, March, because it's tougher to control people
Correct.
being in a club and follow 50% SOPs, who is going to
Yeah.
follow
Yeah. Correct.
50%
Correct.
SOPs in a
I
club?
think
You know?
10% following 10% also we won't follow, bro.
Exactly,
Exactly.
So, so on that aspect, it's just like hopefully clubs can reopen next year, lah. Yeah.
Correct lah.
So many, like because the COVID came and then everything went off. You
Yeah,
know,
Haywire.
no, we had like plans last year as well. Like everything just got messed up because
Yeah.
of COVID, lah. But I mean, looking at it as a blessing in disguise, it gave me an opportunity to connect with more producers overseas, more DJs
Yeah.
overseas and locally, and feature more, and just build up a strategy that allows for us to tap into our local audience to tune in into our radio shows, for example, because 95% of our listeners come outside of Malaysia for our weekly radio shows on SoundCloud and Mixcloud. So, before the pandemic, it was like 98%. Now it's at 95%. So that means over the last year, 3% more Malaysians are now listening in to our radio show. I mean, it's not that
Yeah.
great of a number. I would love more, but
Yeah.
it's a long process with Malaysians. They
Correct.
prefer Spotify over SoundCloud and Mixcloud. Yeah.
I think
Because
maybe slowly but definitely someday.
yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you. I feel like just more people need to get on it, like start
Yeah.
making their own radio shows and start promoting themselves more than just a club DJ. Like, I think a big thing that kind of made me realize this was that when I was in Europe, I think 2018 or 2019, most of the DJs there learn how to DJ or want to DJ because they want to end up hosting their own radio show on like NTS radio or Rinse FM. Being able to play in a club is like just a bonus for them. Like, oh my God, someone wants to pay. Well, here people want to DJ because they want to DJ in a club. Not to say that there are no other opportunities. No one else is really highlighting the other opportunities available, that you can put out your own radio show, put out your own mixes, and then connect with other producers, and then do guest mixes for other people, and then do playlist curations. DJs overseas do that. Like, they do it for sneaker stores, restaurants, bars, and DJs overseas get paid for that. It's just something that's not being practiced here, maybe because not a lot of people are doing it. If more people start doing it, like, if more people start using SoundCloud and Mixcloud, then their friends will have to get on SoundCloud and Mixcloud to start
Correct.
listening to the
Correct. Correct.
music. More people will start getting on Bandcamp to purchase music from these artists instead of streaming the song on Spotify, which
Yeah.
yields almost zero per stream. Yeah. So it's just about that opportunity to that allows more people to get on these platforms if more DJs start using them. And I'm pretty sure more DJs will start using them in the next couple of months for sure.
Long way to go, and a lot of new case coming out as well during the pandemic
Lots of
itself.
new DJs. I'm so excited for that. I think like especially the underground scene. Like a lot
Yeah.
of the younger DJs are so into drum and bass and jungle, which is music that hasn't been as popular since like the late 2000s and early 2010s. I think the last like real solid night was probably is still is Ronging sound system with Uze and Typo D. They do amazing drum and bass nights. We've even had them at one of our live streams, which was pretty crazy. Like, it was really nice to see them play it live, because I'm not that into drum and bass until I watched them play, and I was like, wow, like this is actually good. Like, nice to listen. Like, I understand why people who enjoy drum and bass enjoy it. Yeah,
Bro, we got two small questions and then we wrap it
Yeah,
up.
sure, can
Didn't ask you the first one, bro.
yeah. I just a simple question lah.
can.
This something regarding about you lah. In future, right? Where do you see yourself in 3 years time? Where do you see yourself in the future?
Where do I see myself in the future? I
Yeah,
mean, the goal, I mean, for most of us is to eventually become international DJs, or DJs that we just want to be recognized as DJs. I would say, like, I would love to be able to play overseas regularly. Like, some of my favorite DJs are like Terry Chandler, Moody Man, Louis Vega, and these people genuinely just enjoy making music and DJing, and they're DJing on a weekly basis all around the world. But it takes a certain number of years, obviously, to get that to that point. But within the next 3 years, what I would love to be able to do is to host maybe a small scale boutique festival, like 1,000 people, primarily electronic music, house, disco, techno, all day. Like, I think I'm very inspired by this festival in Amsterdam called Deck Mental. And that's something I want to bring, like kind of a similar vibe here. I just don't know if 1,000 people want to listen to house and techno and disco. Although that's a big thing there, but I think it's a very growing sound here, especially ever since Peggy Go played in 2019 in November, when she played here with WAF and Dixon. I think house and disco and techno is starting to grow, which is great. And we just have to wait until hopefully next year, once things slowly start easing up and open up. Once Good Vibes start coming back, Good Vibes
yeah.
Festival, it's the ship. The bigger guys need to come back. They haven't been able to do much over the last couple of years, and I really hope that they can do stuff next year, because it will just revitalize our entire industry, because Good Vibes has a nice mix of hip hop, commercial, electronic, funk. It's the ship is, primarily DJ centric, EDM. Then you have electronic music. You have hip hop and R&B as well. You have EDM, but I really see an opportunity to start a electronic, like house and disco and techno festival only, kind of like Deck Mental in KL. It's
Yeah.
just maybe a matter of time, maybe 2023, hopefully, that's what I want to be able to do in the next 3 years. Plus, I have a full-time job. I work as a business developer at C27, which is a digital marketing agency. So we're trying to do some really cool things within the music industry as well. So hopefully, you know, that that aspect of what I'm working on prospers as well over the next 3 years. Yeah,
Hopefully you
Slowly
can
but surely.
hopefully you can achieve your plan, bro.
Yeah,
Plans.
I hope so. I would love to. Like, it's always been a dream to kind of like organize the festival, but it's like I would love to work on it with people, like collaborate with other people and work on it, because we have so much, like so many very talented and resourceful OGs of our scene that organize events. Like, you have Rahul, who owns the B, you have Iqbal, who runs Livescapes, you have Alman and Ben, who runs Good Vibes. These are all the same. These are all the guys that have made our festival scene as vibrant as it is now. They've been organizing events since Future Music Festival days. And that's so awesome to see, because I'm very inspired by them to hopefully organize my own festival and seeing them do it. And I've attended Good Vibes. I've played Good Vibes. I've never visited It's the Ship, but I used to go for FMFA when it was
yeah,
happening, early
FMFA
2000s.
was a
Was
best thing that
mental.
ever happened, bro.
yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah, I was there the year it got cancelled, unfortunately. Like, I was outside, but the fact that they bounced back and they started something else, and they're all doing their own thing and still keeping it within the music scene and still supporting our music scene. That's exactly what I want to do as well, but primarily focusing, of course, on electronic music. Yeah.
Don't worry, bro. If you ever organize an event, we'll be
Yeah,
there for you, bro.
we'll be there, man.
Himbus will be the first one. Himbus will be the first list.
Okay, bro.
We're there, bro.
The last question is a
Sure.
normal one, bro. What would you like to say to the people who supported you throughout this way, in your journey of um,
DJing and stuff.
Wow. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody. I think that's the first thing because when we first started, I would say when we first started, there was nothing like that in KL. Because I very heavily inspired, like I said, were by Selection and what they were doing overseas, like with their radio shows and events, and we brought them down a couple of times as well. And the fact that everyone who came for our shows early on and who have been following me and still coming for my events, you know, they have kept that open mind. I want those same people to keep their minds open towards music and encourage their friends to open up and listen to a wide variety of music. And I'm not telling people. I always tell people I'm not telling you to forego your hip hop music or whatever. I love hip hop music too. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are other genres that you can explore. Who knows? You might enjoy if you come for like a Malaya disco party night. If you enjoy it, now you know you're gonna enjoy house and disco from now on. That has happened with so many people, like
Yeah.
over the last couple of like years. Like people come, like you tell them, from six or the Get Down or Arteba or Kyo, we're like, we're organizing an event at Pisco. Then like I've never even heard of Pisco. The fact that they're willing to take that drive and come to Chankad and come to Pisco and then listen to the music, and then when they enjoy it, go and they tell their friends, oh, you need to come. Those are the people I appreciate the most. Those are the people that have helped us grow over the years, and also to the team, like all the people that have been involved with Saturday Select that have helped us out over the years, who've been part of the management team. Those are the same people. Without them, Saturday Selects wouldn't be where we are today. Without their contributions at every event, helping out with the radio shows, getting graphic design work done, like setting up our events, within the team, those are the same people that have made it a huge success, just as much as the people that have attended over the years. So I think the one thing I'd love to say is like, thank you so much for like supporting, coming for our events, and just believing that there is something that could come from us in the future, lah. Yeah,
we wish you the best as well, bro.
Yeah,
Hope
bro.
everything
thank
goes
you.
well.
All the best, man.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Just can't wait to attend a gig, lah, bro.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah,
very dry
no,
It's
for a
been
long time.
ages. It's been ages.
it's been, I can imagine. Like, I think my last gig also was like July last year when our cases were zero. And then yesterday it was just like,
Correct.
yeah,
Hope things get a bit better, and then they slowly open up and stuff.
yeah,
Like
hopefully.
it's still SOP will be there, but something lah, something.
Yeah, I know it's something. I guess that's exactly it. Like, everyone's like, why can't clubs reopen? Like, clubs should be able to open now because clubs overseas are open and stuff like that. But SOPs will be necessary. SOPs are necessary. Like I don't understand people who are like, I don't want to wear a mask and be in a club. I don't want to wear a mask and be dancing and partying. Okay, I understand, but for the safety of everybody else,
Yeah.
and just so that we can get to the point where none of us have to wear masks in a
Exactly.
couple of
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
Let's
Exactly.
practice that now. Yeah. So I mean, hopefully in a couple of months or a few months, early next year, lah.
Hopefully, we just want to see you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be vibing there. You'll be DJing. We'll be down there on the stage. We'll be vibing. Yeah, bro.
Thanks, bro.
I think that would be
Thanks
fun.
for sharing a lot of stuff. That
No
Yeah.
problem.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
like
Thank
people
you
like
for like,
us didn't know
Yeah.
the full story of it,
Yeah,
because
man.
it's nice to get to know from your side as well.
Yeah.
And
It's all.
thank you guys for having me and asking those questions.
pleasure,
I
Yeah.
bro.
would love to like share more, like,
Yeah.
in the future and stuff like that. So
Sure.
and if you guys have any questions at all, anybody who's watching this as well, just feel free to like hit me up. I'm more than happy to share whatever I know and whatever I've learned over the years. Like,
Yeah.
whether it's related to DJing or starting Saturday selects or how to run your first party or event. I'm more than happy to like always share whatever I've learned over the years in hopes of you guys or anybody watching this who wants to start their own thing. We need more of this happening in Kia. We need more options. We need more interesting events happening. Things are going to reopen soon. Now's the best time to start planning. Yeah.
Yeah.
True, bro. True what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and you inspire us a lot, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for your time,
Yeah.
taking your time today, and I'll link all his socials below. Go
Socials.
and
Yeah.
follow him.
Yeah.
Just listen to Saturday Selects and everything.
Yeah.
And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Guys, peace.
See you guys.